that's real music. I'm gonna tell you straight. That's real music. Uh, Live congas and percussions and horns and real woman or real man's voice, not some keyboard bullshit and some electronic nonsense. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with keyboards. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but you feel a heart and soul in that music. I always try to make sure I seek out music with heart and soul in it. And, I don't care if it's coming from the Caribbean. I don't care if it's coming from our people in South America. We got our people are all over the place. Our people are all over the world. We got people in China. We got people everywhere. And when I say our people, I'm not talking about the black race. I'm talking about the bright ones amongst the black race, the 144,000. The black race are becoming like distant relatives to us, in the bright race, And y'all distancing yourselves every day within the black race, just by your behavior, God, the God of the past and the perception that people have of the God of the past, as one, who they have an understanding about, as a powerful being and whatnot. The idea of that powerful being or that person has not changed. However, the God of the past, the understanding of man, has slowed down. Right? The understanding of God as an evolutionary person, as a man who is ahead of everyone, has been misunderstood, has been adulterated. People believe that God, as he was talked about, or the perception of God or supreme being or higher power, is the same as it was 5,000 years ago. Same person, same being, same perception that these people had 5,000 years ago, 10,000, whatever, however long they had it, 20,000, 5,000, you hear thousands of years ago. This is why the Israelites, these guys still sitting up here quoting old books from the Bible and talking about chariots and God gonna come in a chariot, and they talking about riding on horses and being and putting people in slavery and plantations and picking cotton. What? Or you hear people quoting a bunch of stuff from those old books, right? That are outdated, that were based in men's limited perceptions, the men who so-called received inspiration to write those books. Now, I know certain people will say, oh, intellectual, you just sat up here and you quoted the book of Revelation and you broke it down for 3 nights. Difference is that I quoted a future book. I quoted something that's taking place right now. I broke down something that's taking place right now. So, no, that book was not based on a man's limited perception. In fact, that book was sent and received by that man who was called John. Doesn't matter about the man or the man who received it and put the intelligence down. What matters is that those prophecies were real, because God, Amen, who we acknowledge as the true name of the living God, Amen. Now I know Allah, Jesus, and all that. We acknowledge Amen is the true and living God because we know, us within the state of mental, know that Amen is a future being, a future man, a man who is constantly moving into the future as an omni being, and he continuously evolving and continuously presenting himself or moving forward into the future as a power source, as a man of higher intelligence. This is what we know God to be. This is what God has always been. All right? But people, based on their limited understanding of God, didn't really get that. There was a lot of confusion. We're going to discuss that tonight. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares, and this is State of Mental Radio, and tonight we're talking about the evolution of God. It was important for me to do this broadcast because people are under the impression that the Amen that we're talking about today within the state of mental, because I know a lot of people see me post up, the true name of God is Amen, right? And they thinking we talking about the Amen Ra or the Amen Re from Egypt, right? In the ancient society, Nubia and things like that. And they think by saying that they linking us to Egyptian culture and their religion or their way of practice. And I said this is not what the state of mental is. Right? I said when Amen, a man, a man, a omni man, a continuous man, one who is without ending, one who is without beginning. When God walked amongst the ancients, when God, man, when a man, a future man, a supreme being, a man who was more advanced or evolved than the people he was walking amongst, walked amongst these people, right? He was going through an evolution himself. That's right. God was growing in intelligence himself. Now I know they never present that. They never present God that way because they present God as all knowing, all knowing all things, and he has all this knowledge and whatnot. He knows everything and all things, and that's God. How can God be evolving? That's not true. Right? God doesn't know everything. God is on a quest of evolution just like we're supposed to be. But the difference is God, being a future man, is ahead of us. God is evolving as well. How do we know this? Because according to the story, and not even, forget even the account, of the creation, God did not know everything in the Bible beforehand. God didn't know that man would do what he did, because if he did, it wouldn't have said that God, was asking questions about to Adam and Eve about what are they doing, why are they doing this, what are they doing here, or God, what when he found out that man would start transgressing. It was a lot of things that, when you hear about them speaking about God, you could tell that God was not all knowing. He was learning things. If you read the biblical stories, he was learning things about the creation, about the people. He was evolving in his way of thinking. Right? Just as we're supposed to be evolving in our way of thinking. Now, how you know God was evolving and God didn't know everything is look at the mistakes of the human race. Look at the experiments. I refer to them as look at all the biological defects in the human race. That could not come from an all-knowing being. That had to come from a man who made mistakes, who didn't know everything. Right or wrong, logically. They didn't know. He made mistakes. That's people who experiment. And when people are experimenting and trying out stuff, that means they don't know everything. They doing trial and error. See, by understanding this, you get a whole different perception and a real perception of God, not some BS perception of God knows everything and God could make things pop into existence just like that. And I'm like, if that's true, then why was it to take 7 days? Why does it break down days and times and when God brought things into creation? If it was just poof, it would have been like God said, boom, this is there, and that was it. Why did it take days, which they say translates as a day with God is 1,000 years, to us. So why did it take thousands of years or a time frame to even create anything if God was about pop and poof? Experiments, trial and error. No, God does not know everything. Though he is ahead of us, though he is ahead of man because he is a future man, an advanced being, and he walks with future people and advanced people, they're still learning. Right? The space in which God learns is the universe. What do I mean by that? I mean that the world on which God lives, the planet on which God lives, Amen, the future world, the Omni world, moves into the universe. They refer to it in Sumeria as Nibiru. Right? The purpose of that world moving forward without any boundaries, without any solar systems from which it revolves around, the purpose of that moving in boundless in a boundless space, meaning there are no boundaries, there's no rotation in which their planet has to move around, is so that their mental energy can power it. I'll say it again. The purpose of that is so that their mental energy can power it. See, the whole purpose of the human mindset is to work in a rotation, because you're in a world that's based on rotation. You're in a world that moves around the sun. Right? So, of course, human thoughts, human perception is based in a circle, based in a circle of ignorance. Right? This is why they say there's nothing new under the sun. They repeat their ignorance all the time. They repeat the same styles and things all the time, purposely. You understand? Like a broken record, but it was meant for them to be like that. Our people, the almond beings, we were not meant to be like the humans and repeating the same way of thinking. We were supposed to be in linear thought as well. The same way the almond beings are in linear thought, we are supposed to be in linear thought as well. But part of being trapped down here as those 200 fallen messengers was that we would be trapped in perpetual ignorance, in perpetual insanity, going in rotation with our thoughts, as opposed to moving in a linear straight line past everybody else. Like I said, this is the reason why the almond beings in their world is constantly moving through the universe without any boundaries, because their world is powered by thought. It's not powered by any solar solar source that they have to revolve around. Our world is. But our minds were supposed to link into that world, and we were supposed to be receiving thoughts from that world, from that future state. You understand? When I say future, because even future is dictated by certain dimensions in this planet, upper dimensions in this planet, in which we would receive thoughts in the present state. When that happens, we're supposed to, move ahead of everybody into the future. Okay? In the State of Mental meeting, Supermen, Superwomen project, I spoke about first and seconds. I said God thinks in first. We think in seconds. Right? We think in seconds. Or we receive things in seconds. Right? The people that we're supposed to receive things in first as the true receivers on the planet, meaning that we're supposed to receive the intelligence of God, the almond beings, in first, and everyone else is supposed to receive it in seconds as we give it to them. Okay? Because the knowledge is supposed to be so fine-tuned, it's supposed to be so pure that you have to cut it down for the people and give it to them in laws. Right? That's why I said the true knowledge of God is not meant for everybody. It's only meant for an elect few, which takes you to your book of Revelation, right? Where it talks about an elect people receiving God's knowledge on earth. It's not for the world. Those elect are supposed to be the ones who govern the world and give the laws out for people to follow. That's how that works. The same way the Illuminati is set up, or the elite are set up now, where they're receiving, even though it's jacked power, they're receiving power from Amen. You understand? And they are dispatching the intelligence and turning it into information and dispatching it to you as second-hand information or secondary information. They take intelligence and turn it into information. You understand? They adulterate it. They make it impure. Like cutting up drugs, like cutting up cocaine with baby powder and whatnot to make it more, to take away the pureness of it. Water it down. That's what they did, and they were able to produce religion off of that. You understand? However, as God is in an evolution, right? How you know that their perceptions, be Muslims, Christians, Israelites, how you know that these ideologies came from them, and that they were not in tune with an evolutionary God, Amen. How you know they weren't in tune with any real gods, because they still doing the same things they was doing thousands of years ago. The men still walking around dressed the same way. The women still walking around dressed the same way, looking like beekeepers. Right? They still sitting up here reading old books, talking about the same old stuff. You understand that? That is not people who are in tune with an evolutionary God. You understand? Those are people who are not in tune. These are people who are following the customs and traditions of men, not people who are in tune with God. You understand? Because God is a future man. God should be sending you messages, live feed every time. You should be receiving messages, intelligence from God, if you are in tune with God. New messages. So when I look out at people and I see the Muslims, the women still dressed the same way, they still walking around that way, the men walking around, the Israelites talking about walking around wearing sandals and wearing fringes and sashes and all this crazy shit. I'm like, or the Christians, the Christians, they trying to, upgrade their thing a little bit. because they elect the homosexuals and the lesbians. That's something new. Well, it's really not, because the Christianity, they never really was a real religion. They just take bits and pieces and this person's made up person Jesus life. Whereas Islam and Christianity was at least based on some of the laws that they tried to put up and uphold in those old tribes of Israel. But the fact that no new knowledge is coming to the people who say they follow God proves that they're not following a true and living God. They're following dead gods. They're following dead philosophies of men. Right? God is in a state of evolution all the time. God is learning all the time. God sends messages to men, right? God sends messages to men to move people forward. How do you know that God is an evolutionary man? Because every time you refer to or you make mention of a prophet, what does a prophet do? He brings prophecy, right? Future intelligence. Yes? So if he brings future intelligence, then that means that God is moving into the future. You understand? He's moving into the future. If he's sending future intelligence, then obviously he's not on the same page with these people who was talking about walking around wearing sashes and fringes and women walking around wearing burqas and damn face coverings. You understand? That's some nonsense of men. Men who want to keep you bound up mentally and physically in bondage under them because they want to be your gods. You understand? They don't want you in tune with the true and living God. That's why they tell you, if you want to get to God, you got to go through these people. And granted, that's not such a bad thing, but what is these people offering? Are they bringing any new knowledge? They're not bringing any new knowledge. You understand? They're not bringing any new knowledge from a real God. They're bringing a bunch of philosophies from men. God is supposed to be sending new knowledge on everything. You understand? And he only chooses those men who are of his bloodline. You understand that? He only chooses people who are of his bloodline, natural receivers. You understand? Amen only chooses people who are of his bloodline. You know? The reason why we don't have power is because we were tuning in to the false message, the false information of the beast who gave us God repackaged. He gave us God as some stiff, stale, stagnant being sitting on a goddamn cloud, and y'all still believe that. You fell for that. You fell for some nonsense about somebody sitting on a cloud somewhere and some man in a red suit sitting underground. Y'all fell for that. And you got niggas in their 60s and 70s that still believe this. A childlike story, a childlike mentality. You understand? Have these people evolved? No, they have not. You got Negroes still putting up pictures of white Jesus, Jupiter Zeus on the damn in the damn church. Some faggot with long hair, some hippie. You understand? And you say something against that, they'll have a fit. You understand? This is why our people are in darkness. They refuse to evolve, yet they want to connect with a real God who is in a state of evolution all the time. He done left you behind. God done left the black race behind. You niggas are late. So God is going to deal with a new people and elect people because he wants people who are future thinkers. God is dealing with people who are future thinkers. You understand that? He's not dealing with people who are sitting around in the past, banging their head on the floor, rocking back and forth and whatnot on some retarded mission. You understand? No. He's dealing with people who are future thinkers. Why do you think the white man stays over you? Because he's a future thinker. He's in tune with God. Even though, like I said, he jacked the power with his satellites, but he receives intelligence to stay ahead of you because he moves into the future. You understand? Why would God create a past, present, and future, constantly moving you into a now state? Using now as a vehicle, using you as a body to move because you're supposed to be going through a stage of evolution. Just as he is evolving mentally and growing and changing, so are you. You're supposed to be doing the same thing. You understand? No, God is not all-knowing. God is learning just as you are learning. He's evolving. His brain is growing as well. You understand? His brain is constantly growing. He's learning to use more of his intelligence. You understand? God goes through an evolution same as man is supposed to. Obviously, the black race, they don't get it. Our people don't get it. Everybody else is trying to go through an evolution. They moving ahead of us. Our people are the only ones moving stagnant and slow because we got too much junk on the plate. We don't see God as God truly is. We don't see ourselves as a part of God. That was a jump in evolution when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came on the scene and started saying that the black man was God here in America again. Well, nobody was saying that. You know, that was a jump in evolution because prior to that time, black people was worshiping the white man and stuff like that. But when he said God was a black man and that the black man is God, that was a jump in evolution. You understand? Now, people could say, oh, Fard got that from Noble Drew Ali. Listen, Fard, Ali, Muhammad, whoever, nobody got that from nowhere. That was sent to these men. You understand? To get it to the true and living God who walked the earth at that time, Elijah Muhammad. He was God in person. You understand? Fard was the messenger. I'm going to say it again. Elijah was God in person. You had God in person with you because God moves through a bloodline. Elijah was part of the bloodline. Fard wasn't. You understand that? All this made-up story y'all got about Fard's father being black, you don't know. He looked like a white man or an Arab. Y'all making that up. You don't know that for a fact. Elijah was part of the bloodline. He was a black man. He was God. What problem y'all got with that? I don't care what Elijah Muhammad said about, his teacher was God and whatnot. He believed that. But obviously, he didn't operate as that. He represented an evolution in God by what he brought, by what he taught, by what he stayed and continued to do, which made his movement take precedent over all other movements. People can talk about Noble Drew Ali, and I'm not taking anything away from these people. Garvey, they were forerunners to the Nation of Islam because that was supposed to be the primary movement. That was the movement where it was about the elect few. That was the start of the elect few. When the nation came about in the 30s, that number 3 resonated highly in the evolution of our people. All right? And the nation moved on, and it's still in existence today. Even though, like I said, you got a bunch of poor substitute teachers doing it and running it. That's fine. But the legacy moves on. God came in the person of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Like I said, moves through a bloodline. And it will continue to move through the so-called bright man's bloodline. Not the black man who was in darkness, the mentally dead, but the bright man, the one who is receiving intelligence and light. That's why, like I said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad put the universe on his head in the crown. That was the universe. It wasn't about just the sun, moon, and star. It was the universe. And the omnipresent presence of Amen, or God. You understand that? People say, oh, brother, God's true name is Allah, or Jesus, or Yahweh Shai, Jehovah. You got time frames for those. So that can't be the name of God. You got time frames. You got time. It was a time where there was no Allah, no mention of Allah here. You understand? That started in the Arabic language. Somebody gonna say something asinine to me about, oh, well, Allah, that name is original, brother, and it came from. I'm like, whoa. That's the Arabic language. That can't be God's name, because the Arabic language has a start date. So if the Arabic language has a start date, then that means that y'all started knowing God's name upon the beginning of this language. What was the name before Allah? Oh, brother, Arabic was always here. No, it was not. You lying now. It was not. Arabic came out of the Hebrew and the Semitic languages. Okay? But more important than that, when I said that Amen is the true name, because nobody can really tell you where the name Amen comes from. We got simple-minded Negroes who sit up here and tell me I come from the Nile Valley. And I said that, no, that name was generated into the minds of people because you could see where you see the word men and you see the word Amen. You could tell that's the connection between God and man. An omni-man or an ah-man and a human, one who was created. one who is eternal, one who is natural, and one who is created, artificial. That is the connection. One man, one real man created artificial men. See, they tell you all these names to cause you confusion because they don't really want you to know the connection between man and God. Man meaning the human, and God meaning the Amen, the continuous, the omni-man, the one who is continuing in knowledge, who is continuing in an evolutionary state, a continuous one. So if God is constantly in a state of continuation, then obviously God is evolving. Because every time you are in a state of movement, you're evolving, or at least you're supposed to be. Your thinking is supposed to be evolving every day. You're supposed to be evolving. Your point for being here is evolution, mental and physical evolution. You're supposed to be going through a stage of evolution. Now, your human race, the white man, the East Indian, and the people who were created on this planet, they're not going through any evolution. They're going through a revolution. They're going to keep constantly going in a circle here. They're trapped here because they were created here. Make sense? Yes, because they're from here. They from the water here. They were part of an experiment here. You understand? They're going through a constant revolution, a constant rotation. But God is supposed to be moving in an evolutionary state always, and his people are supposed to be as well. This is a trap. The biggest curse that fell upon our people was when we fell into the revolutionary circle, when we stopped evolving, when we stopped moving in the evolutionary line with God, with Amen. When we stopped moving in that evolutionary line with Amen, that's when we fell out of power. We fell off of our timeline. We fell out of our first, and we fell into the second. You understand? We fell into the human timeline. That's the trap. That's the hell we in right now. We are in hell under the goddamn beast. And don't listen to that bullshit about some place under the ground and somebody burning your ass and sticking you with a pitchfork and all that bullshit that the white man done lied to you about. You understand? This is hell right here. And the people who were the descendants of the 200 fallen messengers, the people who came from the Beru or the Amun race, they are here as the black race today suffering under the goddamn beast. That's the hell. You understand? That's the hell. Going under all these different names, causing confusion, children of Israel, Israelites, Egyptians, Muslims, Christians, all this bullshit. That's the hell we going through, the state of confusion under the beast. All these names talking about sovereignty and all this nonsense, and we got to get some money, and the nigger woman trying to look like a white woman, and the black man is a homo. Everything's out of order. That's the punishment. We just out of order mentally. You understand? We out of order mentally. That's the curse. That's the punishment. That's the punishmental payback as these descendants. But now we're in a stage where we can be lifted mentally out of this madness. We are going to start receive, or we have started receiving communication. Though it is faint, it is going to become stronger. The things that would free our people and get us thinking in first again, so that we can move ahead out of this rotation, out of this revolutionary state, back into an evolutionary line to move forward as an evolutionary people. See, because all these Negroes are doing now in your conscious movement, your black power movement, all these niggas they ain't doing nothing but repeating what the white man said, but putting blackface on it and trying to sound heavy and deep. Them niggas are causing confusion. Y'all know who y'all are. Y'all causing confusion. You understand? And as this power is gathering, y'all going to be put to an end. See, because as y'all keeping the black race in darkness, there's going to be a new power that's coming up that's going to lead our people, the bright ones, into the light, into that solar intelligence again. This is real. This is not a game. That evolutionary state that God is going through, constantly becoming more powerful, he's sending messages and energy and power outward. It's vibrating as frequency through this atmosphere, and some of our people are really picking this up. I'm one of them. I know what I'm seeing. I see the full pictures. The thoughts that are being picked up, and I'm sharing with people as they coming out, and they starting to pick up certain things too, and people saying, brother, I was thinking the same thing. This is not a coincidence. You understand? Coincidence even means things that coincide with each other. You understand? So that means there's a pattern taking place. You understand? There's a frequency being sent out. If I'm somewhere over here in New York and somebody over there in Chicago or somebody in New Jersey or somebody in Boston and they feeling the same thing, obviously a frequency is being sent out into this atmosphere for the elect, for certain people to pick it up. You understand that? As a collective. Not as individuals, but as a collective. Because the almond beings, God, the God race, the advanced people, they move as a group, as a collective. I told somebody who came to the project yesterday, the Supermen, Superwomen project, which was a success because we got the right people to come out there. I told them that God and the almond beings, the future beings, they move as a union, as a group, as a collective, not as individuals. Obviously, certain people haven't been listening to me. So I'm going to say it again. God moves as a collective, a group of people. The God race moves as a group, not as an individual. You know, individuality is a Negro mindset, a Negro way of thinking. We don't make Negroes, and you can't take Negroes and make them bright people. They're going to be in perpetual darkness as the black race. No, God is dealing with the black race. God is only dealing with the elect, with the bright race, because the bright race are the ones who are ready to move the hell on. We're ready to move into the future, receive this future intelligence, because God is advanced people. It's not some spook on a cloud and whatnot, and that's the hardest thing to get out of our people's minds, to get that bread out of their minds. I'm going to take a call, 917. 917, you're on the air. 917?
Hello?
Yes, 917, you're on the air.
Yes. Hello, brother.
Yes.
Yeah. My question for you really is, like, I understand what you're saying. I was supposed to come to the meeting, but I didn't come. I apologize. But I know there's future meetings coming up. And I was wondering, like, how do you manage to stay patient knowing that you want to help our race, our bright race? Like, how do you stay patient? Like, how do you remain calm knowing that you're working for the man, or the beast, and, like, not get pissed? Because, like, I get frustrated every day because I went to one of your meetings, and I do have an understanding. There's no coincidence. You're right, everything you're saying. But it pisses me off because, like, what can I do? You understand? I mean, I listen to your, hello?
Yeah, you said, what can you do?
Yes, what can I do without, like, getting frustrated? Because I do want to be part of the bright race and unite our people, you understand? And continue to receive the soul energy and the frequencies. I just want to know what can I do without getting frustrated, because, I mean, I'm very impatient, but what can I do?
You're supposed to be here amongst your people. You should have been here as we giving these meetings, because we putting our community together right now. We putting this society together, this new state together right now. We're not interested in the black race. We're not interested in nothing that's going on with the black race, the white race, anybody else. This is all about this solar intelligent connection and our connection to the ascension, the almond beings. That's all we're concerned about. We're not concerned with none of this nigga nonsense that's going on here. So if you really are sincere in this evolution and you feel that you are a part of this bright race, then be seen. You know,
I will.
Your frustration will come being amongst the black race, because the black race, they're nothing but a ball of frustration and confusion. They are emotional people, and they are losing it. And that's really the source of it, because if you feel you are of this thing, then you're going to be looked to be around your people. It should be no excuse why you're not here amongst your people in this Supermen, Superwomen project.
You're absolutely right. But it won't happen again.
Okay. Are you my Facebook friend?
No, actually, I deactivated my Facebook, but I'm reactivated because I wanted to stay away from, like, the BS that was going on, because I feel like it served no purpose at the time. But I guess because you're on it now, yeah, it's a purpose.
What's your name, brother?
Oh, should I give it over to thing?
Yeah, you can, brother. We ain't got no secrets here. Like I said, nobody hiding from nobody. Go ahead.
Oh, David.
Oh, yeah. David. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I went to the first meeting. Yeah, and I see you on the.
Okay. Well, that wasn't the first one, but damn, man.
Oh, not the first one. I mean, I went to.
Yeah. I remember the last meeting. I remember. Yeah.
And I seen you and the guy on close in Brooklyn over there.
Oh yeah. Mhm. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was wondering what happened to you, brother. I'm like,
I know. Oh man, you don't know how frustrated I am because of that, how I missed it. But it won't happen again. I can tell you that.
Brother. We're
I'll
gonna
find the
be
time.
doing it. We're gonna be doing it in September, like I said. We talked about the bright industrial evolution. Making money for the bright race and whatnot, and the evolution of our people. We talked about a lot of things. You missed out, brother. But like I said,
I
I'm gonna try
know.
to pull you up. I'm gonna try to pull you up to speed. Next time I know I'm gonna see you because I hear the passion in your voice, brother. I hear the passion and the the frustration. That's gonna happen with our people until we find our way home where we're supposed to be.
Please, yeah.
We're not supposed to be amongst the black race mentally and eventually physically. We're not supposed to be amongst them because that's like being amongst a bunch of burnt out bulbs.
You're absolutely right.
So all right. You have any other questions? Anything?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, I was thinking about what you said. I believe it was one of the meetings that I went to, the one I went to, and how is it that, like, as far as do you cut off, like, do you watch TV or do you listen to the radio? And because I remember you said how it's constant distractions from keeping us from receiving from preventing us from being focused and receiving the frequencies. Like do you cut off all of that? Like, how do you manage to go throughout the day and just not watch TV and listen to the radio and other activities? Like, what is it that you do that can, like, take your mind off of this? Because
Well,
what do you recommend?
Me myself, I watch everything. I make sure I keep abreast of everything. I watch TV. I go to movies. I do everything. Why? Because I've already built up a psychic defense. I don't allow my mind to fall into or be a part of these things that I'm watching. And that's what you have to do as you're becoming a mentalist. As we are becoming mentalists, we watch things. It's like I'm gonna tell you exactly how I look at the world and the people in it. I look at them like I'm looking at animals in a zoo. I'm not part of the animal. I'm not part of the animal kingdom of the zoo. I'm just watching it go by. That's how I look at reality TV when I see the crazy black woman going crazy, the nigger man losing his mind, or the nigger woman. I'm gonna tell you something funny. I was talking about how bugged out the so-called black race is and whatnot, how they losing their mind, and then some guy right outside the window started howling like a wolf, a black dude.
Wow.
And he was cursing out another day right to fight a white guy, and then he started howling like a wolf out of nowhere. I swear to you.
I believe you.
Yeah, these niggas, they losing their minds. They and the bright ones of our people, we should try to make sure we separate ourselves. That's the biggest distraction, even moving amongst them. Because see, watching TV and watching movies and things like that, you put that psychic defense up, or that mental defense up. You also got to keep the mental defense up when you're talking amongst the black man and the white man. Because like I said, they vibrate on a low mental frequency. So you should, as a bright one, you should be moving past their past them mentally. You should be blocking out everything they talk about. Like, listen, I tell people all the time, like I told you, try to have limited conversation, especially in this day and time with the black man and the white man.
You're absolutely right. You know what it is? And I've noticed that I cut off a lot of my associates. I'm not even going to say friends, associates. Because, like, I remember at the meeting, one of the guests that was there, he said he cut off his friends, and they look at him different. And now, like, I'm feeling the same way. They're looking at me different because, like, I guess I'm not part of the the BS. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, pretty much, like, when I hear them talk, all I hear is womp, 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 womp. Like, it's pure bullshit that come out their mouth.
Yeah.
And, like, like, one of the things really is, like, I ask myself, like, what is my purpose? But then I ask them, like, what is your purpose? And, like, after coming to me, I know my purpose is. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And it's to be united with, like, our race, our bright people. But then when I see them, they don't have no purpose. So it's like they just coasting through life. And it's like me, I feel bad, but at the same time, it's like I just want to get away from them. You understand? At the same time. So, I don't know if I'm wrong for thinking the way I think, but then,
no,
like...
You're right. You're right on point. Because we all feel in the same way. That's supposed to happen. See, this is supposed to happen where the black race is going to get so low and degenerate. Their minds are going to become so degenerate, go so backwards that it's going to force you out. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to force our people out and force the separation to take place, where the intelligent ones are going to separate from the ignorant ones, and that's happening. I said I would be the instrument. I have to be the instrument to help force that and push it along a little faster. But that's going to happen anyway. You understand? Right. It's like Mentellect is giving us a ship or a craft to step onto, a new island to step onto away from the crazy ass people.
Yes,
You understand?
please.
That's what it's doing. Because, like I said, these Negroes in religion, they and philosophy, and they still following the ways of the white man. They off. They gone. And or just they just out here. They engaging in all the ways of the beast. They going. So it's no mental connection for them. So what happens is that energy, or that power, or that frequency has to go somewhere. It has to go to people who are ready to receive it as a collective, and that is us. We are ready.
Yeah, absolutely right.
We are ready. We want this. We want. I made a statement on Facebook. I said the white race they hide hide the truth. The black race hates the truth, and the bright race embraces the truth.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm. You're absolutely right.
That's real.
Can I say something, brother?
Go ahead.
You know what I realized too is like I remember after the meeting, I said something to one of my coworkers, and we was talking about a white person that was walking by, and I was like, oh, look at the I said, look at the Caucasian lady, and they said, oh, the white lady. I was like, no, the Caucasian lady, and they got pissed because I'm like, they got pissed at me because I said Caucasian, but how can I just say, oh, everybody's white? Not everybody's white. You understand? We like me. I don't even call myself black. People keep saying, like, you're not black. You understand? But there's a lot of black. There's a lot of black niggas out here. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You understand? But I mean, like, if you're not ignorant and you choose to enlighten yourself and accept the truth, then like you're not black. You're bright. You understand? But
exactly.
when I hear these other black people talking, and it pisses me off because like after I go to the meeting, it's like it hurts. You understand? Because I mean, they don't understand it. They don't know. You understand? But I guess
let me tell you something. They don't want to know. The black race, they don't want to know. All right. People keep saying, "Oh, brother, and I said we put this message out for everybody. We pass these cards. We put them everywhere. We put this message out here. We put in the work. So, like I said, the fact that our meetings are not filled up with people, that shows you the black race is satisfied. They okay with their place here in society. They okay with being a bunch of lackeys and Uncle Toms and coons and Sambos and secondary people for the beast. They okay with that. They don't want nothing to change. I don't care how much revolutionary militant bullshit they talk. That's talk. That's all talk. Because in the morning, Monday morning, after they do that on the weekend, they go into their job. All right? That's it. They okay with that.
That's crazy, but it is what it is. You're right.
It's the truth. Like I said, we're dealing with the truth here. Because in order to raise an intelligent people, in order to raise a supreme people, you have to be totally truthful. You can't be like the black race and tell lies. Oh, we want supremacy. We want to be black supremacists and all this, but you don't want to admit to the BS that you teaching. You don't want to admit to the nonsense that you doing. You want to still play the game. Nobody playing games here. The black race, they play games. You understand?
All right. Now, here's another one. Like, me, I kind of, not to cut you off, sorry. Me, I feel like, because of, like, I'm having a better understanding of what's going on around me. It's like, I don't know if I'm becoming not a racist, but I look at a lot of races different. Like, I feel like they're not on the same level as I am. So is that bad? Like,
no, it's the truth. You're not a racist, because I tell people all the time, I'm not racist. I'm a mentalist. And what I mean by that is I'm a mentalist because I divide by mental ability and capability. I divide based on my way of thinking and my intelligence. That's how I divide people, not so much by race. Now, the white man, just by your human beings, your white man, your East Indian, your Arabs, they don't think like we do. You understand? Because they are artificial people. They were created here on Earth. They are artificial people. Okay? Then you got your black race, those who are in darkness. You understand? Who are now, who at one point was over them, who are now below them. And then you got your bright race, the solar ones who are receiving solar intelligence, who are being turned back on, who are becoming open receivers again to this future knowledge, this future thought of intellect. Those are our people who are turning on to it. These are the people who are moving forward. These are the people who are going to move ahead as they start to gather. That is what, like I said, was talking about the 144,000, because you're going to look at the black race that way. They're not your people. Just like the Africans are not our people. You understand? We just amongst the black race. They're not our people.
Okay, all right. Now I understand this. I understand the separation between them. Thank you. Yes, because It's like I don't want to. I'm not saying. I'm not like I don't want to associate myself with them. That's it. It's bad, but I mean, it is what it is. That's how I look at
No, you don't. I mean, you shouldn't have to. You should don't feel you got to associate with black people or white people. Just associate with necessary people. If they not
it. Exactly.
necessary, try not to associate with them because they ain't gonna do nothing but drag you down mentally and have you on some submental thing. Because the white race, the black race, the human race, they all vibrate on a low submental state. So we trying to move beyond that. We trying to come from the submental to the mental. You know, that we moving through the frequencies. We have to go through the frequencies and the proper channels, but we moving. You know, that just by you calling here, just by the people that showed up at the project, our people are starting to get it. So it's not just me. It's not some guy, some crazy single guy who making up stuff. Y'all seeing the same things. Y'all seeing, so it ain't just me. Y'all seeing people seeing the same thing. So now what can they do when people start saying, "Oh, this guy crazy. He's just making up stuff and this and that." Why y'all starting to see the same thing?
You're absolutely right.
You know, I'm not alone, so we all crazy together. That's fine. I'll take that because when they say we crazy, all that really means is people who think who are mentally out of control. And what does that really mean when they say we are mentally out of control? We are mentally out of control of the beast.
Yes.
That's what that really means. The people who are insane, those are the people who are in control or inside of sanity or in control. They are being controlled by the beast. Those are the insane people. They are inside of sanity. They are inside of his control. That's what that really means.
You're absolutely right. So like, what I know you it's every month that you have your meetings, right? Where okay, the next one, okay. Well, I'll just stay up to date with the.
I got your number and whatnot. I got your number. I'll give you a call on that because I want to definitely see you there. Like I said, you know, we putting our thing together and whatnot, and we gonna put this community together. We not sitting around here and you know, we're not sitting around here as a bunch of loose nuts out here amongst the black race. And we coming together. We trying to build a real community, a real community where we living for, of, and by each other. Where because the bright race, all we gonna have is each other to rely upon. We are that 144,000 that's being raised up, that was talked about in the Book of Revelation. That is the bright race. That's the real new covenant.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, brother, you pretty much answered what I just.
All right.
What I've been stressed out over. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, we'll be in touch. See you next month.
Oh yeah, you will.
All right.
All right, thanks, brother.
Okay, you're welcome. Questions, comments. Yes, God does evolve, people. Yes, God does evolve. Just as we evolve in our intelligence, God evolves in his intelligence. Like I said, the almond of the past, though it is the same power, but the intelligence is different. It's higher. No, we don't got no picture. That's why I put the picture of Enki, who is Amen as well. I put the picture of the Sumerian Enki up, and then I put Amen, or the image they had of Amen in Egypt up. Then I put Elijah Muhammad up with the feathers on his head, and I put Dr. York up. Then I put myself up there because that represents an evolution in God. You understand? God sends messages to men, and these men are actually the representations of God on earth. No, they not doing magic tricks and flying and floating. You go, oh, there you go. Let me see you make it rain. Let me see you do. Hell, a white man can make it rain with a damn heart machine. That make him God? You understand? God is God based on intelligence. You understand? God is God based on higher intelligence, advanced intelligence, which is being brought to the people. That is what shows you the people who are in tune with God, not somebody floating around and doing all this stuff, which we will be doing in time. You understand? Things that they call miracles that the white man could tell you there's no such thing as a miracle. These are advanced stages of knowledge that you're just not privy to. Hell, the white man doing it right now, your Chris Angel and all of them, they got little covens formed right now, and he walking on water and floating out of the damn sky and whatnot. So obviously Jack in power. He always dressed in black, Chris Angel. He's part of a coven. And they worshiping Amen. You understand? They walking around wearing ankhs. So that just shows you that they still behind, but they trying to get on path. They trying to learn this. You understand? So it's possible. But it's not possible to the black race because y'all sitting around here, they got y'all stupefied listening to Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne and Twista, whoever the hell y'all niggas listening to today. Whatever nigga nonsense of watching black men fight and tear each other hair out on a damn reality show, and that's where y'all mind is at. They do that purposely so that they can take your power, they can take your energy. You understand? That's why they do that. That's why they put these images up, to distract you, because you're in this year in 2012. This is supposed to be the count up. This is supposed to be the count up. And when I say the count up, I mean this is supposed to be the count up to your evolution, the count up to your power. You understand? The count up to your physical connection. You understand? You're supposed to be going through this evolutionary state. You're supposed to start receiving your intelligence, your higher intelligence here on Earth in real time. God, Amen, is supposed to be dispatching that intelligence to our people in real time. You understand? That's supposed to be taking place right now. At the sound of my voice, at the affirmation of the word in the name of Amen, because look at what we went through for 400 years. We went through 400 years of pure hell under Allah, under Jesus, under Yahweh Shah, and all them bullshit gods and those bullshit religions. We went under pure hell. Here you niggas still upholding that nonsense after we done went into bondage under that garbage. Here it is. We went through pure hell only in 2012 for us to arrive right back at Amen. You understand? The true and living God who raised the God race up, the Amen beings, not the humans, but the Amen beings, you so-called black people. But now you black people, y'all want to fall and y'all want to be part of the y'all want to be a part of the false world. You don't want to be a part of this evolution. You don't want God to evolve because you want to stay stagnant. You want to stay bumping your head on the floor and putting black marks on your head and pushing people out of the way to kiss stones and all this crazy shit. You understand? Or you want to have your women want to keep dressing your women up like beekeepers and walking around like they somewhere in the desert, instead of becoming those bright beings. You don't want that intelligence. Let's take one more call before we go to break. 801, you on the air.
Hey, yeah, what's up, Newman, man?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I called from Kentucky the other day, man. I'm calling back, man. Just had a question been kind of on my mind. I want to ask you about this. Man, where does the physical evolution, like, where does that, like, how does that take place? Because, like, for myself, like, I done ran a couple marathons, and I done found myself, like, very, very drawn to, like, physical fitness and health and whatnot. Like, how does that play play into the whole state of mental and everything?
You mean your physical capabilities?
Yeah, like, I mean, because I notice, like, you know, a lot of people sit around, don't do nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get out there and run 10, 11 miles, you know what I'm saying, come home, and I'm good, you know what I'm saying? That's just something that I'm drawn to doing. And I know a lot of our, you know, so-called black people, they don't really indulge in that type of thing. Like, it's a marathon, it's 15,000 people, and you might have a handful of, you know what I'm saying, black people, or maybe they're bright people, you know what I'm saying, that's actually doing it. But I just want to know, like, how does that play in, and will we start seeing more of our people actually, you know what I'm saying, getting into that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Being, like, more health conscious and things like that, you mean?
Right.
Yeah, you're going to see that amongst the bright race, but that's only one stage, though, because, you know, if you out here, you jogging and you putting in all this energy, you running laps, and you still talking about Jesus Christ and all this other nonsense or Allah and whatnot, then it's a waste of time. It's no evolution for you. Because as you doing these things and you running and whatnot and you speeding up and you pushing yourself and whatnot, what's supposed to be happening when you work out, you're supposed to be speeding up your intelligence just as you're running. Because what happens is you're forcing blood to the brain. All right, when you are running and things like that, blood is being forced to the brain, so that creates an oxygen flow and whatnot. And your thoughts are supposed to be resonating in your mind and supposed to be evolving your way of thinking. That might have a lot to do with how you listen to this broadcast and you are getting in shape and whatnot. Because I do the same thing. I go out and I run and things like that. I'm sprinting, you know, back and forth and whatnot. Like I get out and sprint and do things like that. So I'm conscious about my, body and my health and whatnot. And that's what's, the bright race is going to start doing it. Just as we are evolving mentally, we're going to evolve physically. We're going to become more health conscious. The black race, they ain't health conscious. They don't give a damn. They smoke cigarettes, weed. They eat pork still. These niggas still eating pork. They still eating slave food, calling it soul food. And they watching Big Mama and all them die and getting they limbs cut off from diabetes. And they still eating that. That just show you the stagnation of the damn black race.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. Appreciate it, bro. Because I was just out here. We had an Iron Man through here, man. I was looking at all these, you know what I'm saying, all the white people doing it, man. I ain't see a black person in the bunch, but I'm thinking like, you know, they pushing it, like they barely making it. I'm feeling like, man, if I really want to do it, I feel like I could do it and still be good. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, you know, it's definitely the evolution coming, though. I just want to touch with you. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. Keep doing your thing.
We supposed to along with becoming mentally stronger, we're supposed to become physically stronger as well. You know, we're supposed to be go through an evolution. I'm 41 years old, and like I said, I feel like I'm 17. So you go figure it out. You figure it out, and nobody ever tell me I look my age. So you know, I don't know what's going on. You know, I'm born 1970, so you know.
Right. Appreciate it, bro. Makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
All right. All right. We're going to take a little break. I want to play a little music. What do I want to play? Let me see. Pleasure Seeker. I know I offended some people. Before I play the music, I want to say I want to thank the people. It was a beautiful gathering. The Supermen, Superwomen Project was a beautiful gathering yesterday. The next one will be in September. We do it every month. Like I said, for those of you who offended by my words, go tune somewhere else. I don't give a damn. All right? Same for you. We'll be right back. The reason why people tell you that God doesn't change or that they never change this image of God is because they don't want to change. That's the reason why they tell you that God don't change, because they want to keep justifying teaching you the same religion. They want to keep justifying telling you the same cultural doctrines over and over again. They don't really want to change anything. They want to stick to the script, right? The only one that's putting the new millennium face on their religious beliefs in God is the Christians, right? They're the only ones that's putting it. Like I said, that's why they got the universal church. They accept everybody, the faggots, the lesbians, the thugs. Everybody can be part of that. That's the new facelift that they're giving God, you know? But the true and living God, Amen, is not moving in that direction. You understand? Never was. The true and living God is moving in a logical one, always. Always thinking, always motivated, always moving. I tell people all the time, the problem with our people is that we don't see God as a man. We don't see God as a thinker. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad introduced God as a man. We, back in the ancient world, we introduced God as a man when we had the little statues up. We show God in different stages of evolution. You understand? Just as we are thinking and we're supposed to be changing, like I said, God thinks and changes as well. There is no end to supremacy, people. There is no end. There is no I'm there. That is continuous. So if God is continuous, how the hell is man talking about, I'm already at this point? There is no point. So when these people talking about, I'm doing this thing in rotation, I'm praying 5 times a day, brother, I'm giving out my zakat, or I'm getting prayed up in the church and all this other stuff, and you know and you feel that's good enough. There's no good enough. You understand? If you're doing the same thing in the rotation, you just running around in a circle like a rat like a damn hamster on a wheel. And the people and the theologians, all the people that are ahead of your Christianity, your Islam, your Judaism, they laughing at you. You understand? They're all laughing at you. You understand? Because they make up these things and they sit up here and tell you, you got to go by this old book, this old 1,400-year book, this old 2,000-year-old book that you don't know who the hell wrote that stuff. You don't know whether it's true. You sitting up here, you niggas, y'all talk like y'all was actually there with them. They got y'all talking like you was right there with them. You niggas act like you carried the cross with Jesus. You know, you niggas y'all act like y'all was with Muhammad when he was in the mountain. You understand? You niggas act like you was real. Y'all, I don't sit up there and listen to the Muslims, the Christians. These niggas will sit up there and act and have real conversations like they did. Like this, brother, see that proves that it's real. Because it's in the book. I go, brother, yeah, that proved that Harry Potter is real because it's in the book. Harry did go and he rode the broomstick, brother, because it's in the book of Harry Potter. Chapter 5, verse 6, book of Harry Potter. Yeah, and y'all go for that. The white man can just tell y'all anything. That's why I guess I ain't dealing with y'all. Y'all ain't ready for no reception because y'all accept the lies of the beast. You accept his beliefs, his lies. You understand? You want to stay ignorant because, like I said, the real God, as an evolutionary man, one who is a thinking man, scares the hell out of the damn black race. An evolutionary God, who obviously God is, because how do you go from a God that makes mistakes, who produces experiments of people who have biological defects and disorders, to making a world or perfecting a world that's constantly in a stage of perfection? Even this world, as the planet is going through a evolution, where we're talking about the ozone layer going away and people dying off of the earth and whatnot, that is perfection. And that's a state of evolution in itself. So if a God, a thinking man, a highly intelligent man, an advanced man, because like I said, I'm gonna have to beat this into the heads of some of our people. Well, not the bright ones, they get it, but the black people who are trying to get this. God is a man who is highly intelligent. That's all. He is a future man. He is our ascension. He is our bloodline. He is moving ahead of us in real time, people. He's moving beyond your dimensions. He is beyond your 13th dimension. As I mentioned, there's 13 dimensions on this planet. You understand? He is beyond that. He is beyond your sun. We figured it out in the future how to get from beyond the sun and our genetics in real time. So God is our great, great, great children, grandchildren. That's who God is in real time. We made it past the dimensions. That's why I said, and I opened it up, and I said that the almond beings are going to be the interdimensional beings, because that's how we're going to leave out of here, through the dimensions. And we are coming on to the fourth dimension right now, some of our people, in this evolution. Because if we're climbing in dimensions from 4 to 5 to 6 and all that, we're climbing by generations through the evolution, then that means obviously we're going to make it out of here. You understand? That's where we're headed. We're making it out of here because God did the same thing. You understand? Like climbing up on a ladder. We did the same thing. That's all symbolic when the white man talk about Jacob's ladder, Jacob's ladder. That's all symbolic. That's symbolic of man climbing up in dimensions and higher levels of intelligence. That's all symbolic. You know, the beast gets sent these ideas, or these things for films and stuff like that, so that our people can see it as a signal. That's why he does that. It's not him thinking up stuff and creating stuff. Like I said, like you Sambo Negroes think that the white man's so smart. Like I said, he's so smart, like I said, but he can't build a pyramid today. He can't build a three-sided foundation today. Or the damn Asian man, who y'all think is so smart too, because the white man said the Asians are smart. Yet you can see these guys riding around on bikes in Chinatown delivering food. But they so smart. You know, just because they can put together a radio and whatnot, but then some old wino nigga in your neighborhood could take apart a whole car and put it back together. And it can barely read. But you give these people too much credit. You understand? You give these people too much credit. This is why our people are not receiving the intelligence of God. Because y'all still looking at God as some spook on a cloud who's dumb to your ways, because y'all actually play God like he's ignorant. That's why, like I said, you make God what you want, because you learned that from the white man. He taught you how to worship a mythological, unreal God. It should be myth-illogical, not mythological. It should be myth-illogical, meaning that myth is illogical. It's not based in logic. God, based in logic, you understand? God, based in logic, is real. Because, you know that man is based in logic or biological order, so you know he's real. You understand that? This is not, This is not something difficult. You know, God had to have a woman by his side who was intelligent as well. God wasn't alone. He had people with him. This is a race of people. When they talked about the 144,000, these are the people that bred the God race. It's all one line of evolution, one line of actually of a falling or a devolving, and now we're into a stage of evolving. When we fell as the 200 fallen angels or the 200 fallen messengers onto this earth, our descendants, now we're going through an ascension in this day and time where the ascension is taking place with the children of Israel, because here's the timeline. Falling down here or falling out of tune with the Amen beings onto earth as the 200 fallen messengers, the ones who were supposed to be the first governors of this planet, right, over the human race after they created the human race, then falling down here out of connection with them mentally as the punishment or the punishmental disconnect, severing of that pineal gland and receiving our future intelligence, our future thoughts to stay ahead of everybody, then falling under the rule of these people, right? Because I said on Facebook, I said the 200. You want to know how real the 200 fallen angels are? I said all you got to do is look at those statues in Egypt of Aset, Isis, Haru, and all the deities. That's your 200 fallen angels. Those deities and all that he put up, that's your 200 fallen angels. Those were the gods that they kept talking about that was walking amongst men. You understand? That's why they made statues. They obviously had to see these people to make statues of them. They wasn't just making statues out of their head. If you sitting up here sculpting statues and drawing rock carvings on the wall, you had to see these people. That's like I had to sit up here and look at your face to draw you. So they obviously saw these people. And they made statues of them because these people were walking amongst them and they were highly intelligent. Just like you say today when you got geniuses walking amongst you, where is that genius coming from? It's coming from someplace else. That's knowledge or images being generated in these people's heads. That's the same way these Amen beings was walking the earth, because at one point in time they had the God race who was moving into the future, generating images into their head until they were cut off. And they were no longer geniuses or what they call giants that were moving on the earth, because they referred to these Amen beings as giants, meaning mental giants. You understand? They were ahead of people. They were, in other words, they were ancient geniuses. That's what your 200 fallen angels was, or your God race on earth. They were ancient geniuses. People who were ahead of the average people that was here. That's the ones who taught them how to build the pyramids and stuff, and gave them future science. Science that even the white man and the Asian don't know how to do now. Because I was watching something on National Geographic, and they brought all these earth machines and whatnot, trying to build the pyramids and copy what they did in Egypt, and they couldn't. All that shit kept falling down. They was trying to recreate the stuff they was doing in Egypt, the pyramids, and they was building it with earth machine, modern stuff, and that shit fell down. The Japanese that you niggas think is so intelligent and they know all the math like the damn white man say, the white scientists that sit around here talking about some Big Bang theory and that we came from monkeys, and you niggas repeating. You understand? They came with all their modern day technology, which is not really even their modern day technology, and they tried to put a pyramid together, and that shit fell down over and over again. This was right on National Geographic. You probably go on YouTube and find it. They made an ass out of themselves. The Japanese, all them smart guys, all them mathematicians writing all that shit on the board, and the high science, the trigonometry, and the calculus, and all that, and they couldn't even build a three-standing foundation. You understand that? So obviously, those people were dealing with future intelligence. Obviously, these people had people that were walking around and showing them how to do stuff who were in tune with something. That was your 200 fallen angels. They built statues to these people. You understand? That's real. You understand? It's not no fairy tale. It's not like the Bible and the Quran. You understand? This is real. This is real people that will walk in the earth. Future intelligent people. Not somebody sitting on some goddamn cloud. Because, it just makes me laugh when I hear these niggas. They'll sit up here, the religious ones, they'll sit up here and try to go against what I'm saying, but you niggas believe in that y'all going to heaven and y'all going to have 72 virgins waiting for you. You niggas believe that, or you running across the country to go push somebody out the way to kiss a rock, and throwing pebbles at something, calling it the devil, throwing pebbles at some stones, calling it the devil. This is the madness that y'all engaged in. But then you want to sit up here and I'm sharing real intelligence with our people because, like I said, these were ancient geniuses, people that were receiving higher intelligence, higher thought. There's nothing crazy about that. That's real. You got certain people who think on a higher level, who are receiving thoughts on a higher level. That's real. I'm doing that in this day and time. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad did it in his day and time because he was sitting up here talking about things even after Fard left. You understand? He was talking about things on his own message that he was receiving, and a lot of people tried to make it seem like he was some doddering old fool that didn't know what he was talking about, wearing big crazy crowns on his head. No, what he was doing was he was talking about future things to come. And people like Malcolm X, who you thought was so intelligent, he didn't understand that. Yes, because he got caught in the present. He didn't see the bigger picture. That's why he did what he did. But that was God right there that the nation had with them. But what they want to do, these niggas want to still put up a picture of a white man. That was God and future thought right there. That was a future God right there. That was God who was connected to the future, who was connected to that universe. Because Fard didn't put that on his head. Elijah put that fez on his head and shortened it. So obviously he had to go through an evolution and had to be receiving intelligence from an evolutionary state. Because God was taking him through an evolutionary state. The future beings were taking him through an evolutionary state. And he was taking the nation through an evolutionary state. Just as Dr. York was taking his people through an evolutionary state. Every time he took them through Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and a lot of simple-minded niggas are, oh, well, see, they keep changing up their doctrines and their beliefs. No, he was doing that purposely to move our people past that. You understand? But to people who stuck, because you're so used to being stuck and stagnant in your religious belief and whatnot from the white man, you can't understand that, oh, you know, we're supposed to be in a state of evolution. Elijah said, and I tell these people in the Nation of Islam all the time, I said, Elijah said after him, God going to come. So if he said after him, God going to come, how the hell is Fard God? He said that at the end of his life. He said, after me, God going to come. So I thought Fard was God. That was a future reception that Elijah received. That was an evolutionary thought that he received. You understand? Yeah, in the beginning he thought Fard was God, but obviously he didn't think Fard was God toward the end. So obviously he was receiving future intelligence. He said, because God is coming after me. So Fard couldn't have been God. Thought he was, because he come out of that whole stage where black people was worshiping white people as God. Black people had just took down white Jesus. You understand? So Fard, putting white Fard as Allah, that wasn't a stretch. But now even his own people today can't see that Elijah was God. You understand? That God moves through a bloodline. God is a man. Man. You understand? He is moving as our ascension into the future, and we are supposed to be representing him in this present day and time, just as the Egyptians represented him in that day and time, just as the Sumerians represented him in their day and time. We as the mentalists, as the mentalians, are supposed to be representing Amen in this day and time. That's why I say Amen is in a state of evolution, because he put that knowledge in my head to call my people mentalians or mentalists. You understand? He sent that intelligence to tell my people to be open as receivers and stop calling yourself Muslims and Christians and all this nonsense and separate from the black race who was dead. That didn't come from me. That didn't come from me. That didn't come from Dr. York. That didn't come from Elijah Muhammad. That came through me from a future message. You understand that? That's the evolution. But like I said, for all those are people who still want to be in religion, you want to accept the lies of the white man and the Arabs who keep telling you about some Allah on a cloud somewhere in a throne, you understand? Or praying is going to help you. Y'all not going to accept that. You're not going to accept the reality. That's not going to resonate with you, because you've already made a conscious choice to be part of the confusion. The black race, y'all already made a conscious choice to be part. Y'all don't want the truth. In other words. The black race don't want the truth. You understand? They want the lies of the beast. See, because they could hide they filth in the lies of the beast. They don't want to believe that God is an evolutionary being, because that means God done moved the hell on without y'all. God done moved on. He ain't listening to you niggas no more. Newsflash, he really wasn't listening to you niggas before. You understand? He wasn't listening to y'all. That's why y'all had to suffer. That's why you niggas went through slavery. You understand? But he was always freeing a certain amount of our people. That's why he sent the message to Harriet Tubman to free our people. He elected Harriet Tubman to grab that goddamn gun and bust that gun and lead the people into freedom. And you simple-minded niggas, the ones who was on the plantation, you wanted to stay. Harriet Tubman scratching her head like, well, why y'all don't want to go nowhere? She had to pull a pistol. You understand? God was guiding her. Amen was guiding her into a stage of evolution. He was leading a group of our people out of out of physical bondage. And today, he's leading our people out of the stage of mental bondage, some of our people. Because you know after slavery, you still had some of these niggas down there that was on the plantation who wanted to stay with the white man. After they told these niggas there was no more slavery, they stayed there and was doing sharecropping, which was nothing but another form of slavery. They stayed. Just like you people in the black race, you niggas going to stay in Islam perpetually, in ignorance in Islam and Christianity and Judaism or Israelitism or whatever ism, Buddhism, whatever madness you in that you got from the beast when the knowledge of intellect is here to free our people, the bright ones. You're not gonna try and get that. It's not gonna resonate with you. You already made your mind up. Just like them niggas wanted to die in bondage and slavery because that's the world they wanted, and that's the only thing they wanted to know. They didn't want to look into the future, and they didn't want to see God's knowledge is evolutionary, and they didn't want to receive that evolutionary message. Our people are not going to receive the knowledge of intellect. Y'all want to stay Moors begging the white man for land and whatnot that he ain't going to give you. You understand? He laughing at you niggas. You understand? He's sitting up here looking at your Moorish tree, lighting his cigars off of it. You understand? He's like, what's this shit? He lighting his cigars probably off it and throwing it in the damn thing. Oh, that's those black Moorish guys' treaty. Yeah. Hey, we need something to stoke the fire with. We need to stoke these fat stogies with. We need something to burn off our cigars with. They bring that Moorish treaty over here. They probably get a black man, they butler, to bring it over there. Like, Gerald, light this up. We need fire. You know, that's it. And white men do stuff like that. You niggas might get mad at that, but he does stuff like that just to make a mockery out of it. Just like how you niggas did when back in slavery when they had their freedom papers. The white man look at that, tear that shit up, throw it on the ground. Then get your ass back in slavery. That's how he do. That's how he do. That's how he honored contracts and treaties. You understand? See, because y'all believe in the beast. You don't acknowledge Amen is real. You don't look into the future. You don't put your mind in the future. I didn't say put your trust or put your faith or belief in the future, because faith and belief is dead. I said put your mind in the future. Receive the true knowledge of God. Amen. You understand? Receive the true knowledge of God on earth. Amen. The future knowledge. Because the future is our freedom, our evolution. We'll be right back.
This is for those who look like me. I rebel against
no, you know what? I don't want to hear that. You know what? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear something, that resonates with me right now. I want to hear some Star. I ain't played her in a while. Star Unbreakable. You people in religion, you slowing up the evolution of God. You people in religion, you're slowing up the true evolution of God. You're slowing up the evolution of Amen. You understand that? You niggas on God's hit list. You niggas, you Muslims, you Israelites, you Christians, all you niggas that's still under the beast, you Moors, all you guys on the true and living God, Amen's hit list. That sounds funny, but it's the truth. Because you slowing up the evolution. Y'all spreading lies. Y'all gotta go. Y'all just slowing up things. You slowing up the evolution. You telling lies and you spreading ignorance and more in this old fake philosophy of the beast. So you make, not that you make my job harder. You really don't, because it's going to get to what it's supposed to get to. But y'all just taking up unnecessary space with your lies, and your beliefs. Which in the word belief, you see the word lie. You love the beast. You don't want God almond raw and uncut. You don't want the truth about a God that disown you, a God that ain't got time for you, a God that ain't gonna coddle you black women because you ain't got a man. You understand? Because you lonely. You understand? God don't give a shit if you lonely. I'm going to tell you black women who go to the church, go to the mosque, because you got a bunch of kids now out of wedlock from being a whore earlier. God don't give a shit about you being lonely. There's no Jesus to put his arm around you. You understand? The only one who want to put his arm around you is the reverend. That's all. Nobody gives a shit about you. Nobody give a shit about you, Raheem, and and I don't care how many crosses you put on and you go pray and get prayed up to make yourself feel good. Nobody cares. God moved on. I'm in the true and living God. He moved on. You ever think, black woman, that God doing you a favor by letting you be alone? You understand? You talking about, oh, God, send me a man. God said, the hell with you. He ain't. Maybe he doing you a favor. Maybe he wants you to close your legs and think a little bit and open your head and think. You ever think that's the gift God giving you to keep the men out of your life? Because the men in your life then obviously dragged you down. He giving you a period to cool your snatch off. You understand? And let you open your brain up and receive that intelligence. You don't see that, but you begging for another man to come in your life. You understand? God trying to the true and living God trying to send you some evolutionary thought. Because your best thoughts, your best evolutionary thoughts come when you got the time to contemplate and be alone and be quiet, which you call meditation, so that you can receive intelligence. But no, you wanna run back out. Oh, God, send me a man. That's the last thing a lot of you black women need. You need to go somewhere, get yourself in shape. Stop eating all the swine. You know what I mean? Stop praying so damn much and begging. God already sent you a message. He sent you an evolutionary message, but you don't want it. You want a man, and you want to sit up in church, and you want to keep eating pork and getting filthy hair weaves. You understand? That's what you want. You niggas and you gang niggas, you get shot up 20 times and whatnot. You pray to get back to health, then you run back out in the street and commit crimes. God right. You ever think he let you live so you could do something else? But you niggas don't get it because you in perpetual ignorance. You black women that keep going to church or in the mosque praying next to the man and whatnot, are you trying to cover up because you really covering up because you ashamed half of y'all done got overweight, so now you want to dress like Africans now and cover your ass. You know what I mean? You want to go overboard with it. You want to wear burqas and big dresses and whatnot and talking about this some religious, spiritual thing when you just got fat. You don't know how to back away from the table. You messing up the biological order that God set in place. You guys gave you a nice figure, gave you a working heart, made a lot of you healthy and whatnot, but you go and mess it up by overeating. That show you that a lot of the people in religion, y'all ain't in tune with God. Because how you walking around here goddamn 300 pounds? You understand? God gave you come from a God. Here it is. You got a working body. You come in this world. Everything is working. All of you and all you niggas doing is you smoking cigarettes. You drinking liquor. You eating pork. You eating all kind of foul foods. You overweight, and you doing everything to mess it up. You understand? But yet you talking about I believe in God. What God you believe in? Some fake God, like I said, Jesus. That's the God that lets you do whatever you want, co-sign on your bullshit. That lets you do whatever you want, sleep with multiple people, have sex with everything, and everything crawling and walking, begging. You could get prayed up, and you go out and be a whore again. All the things you could do, be a low life. You could be a low life because you excused by Jesus. That's not no evolution. That's going backwards. See, when that's going in a rotation, that's going backwards in your life. That's not an evolution. Evolution means you get better. Is anybody in religion really getting better? No. Y'all going in circles. Circles of madness. You understand that? Where is where's the evolution at? You understand? Where's the evolution at? You know, there's no evolution for you when you running up in Islam. You know, because you just running into more lies. There's no evolution for you with the Israelites because you sitting around here talking about you want to be connected. You want to put the white man in bondage, and you talking about judgment. Hell, the judgment that you niggas got, that y'all went through, that was the judgment. Because judgment, let me tell you something, judgment was never for the beast. Judgment was for y'all. Judgment was for y'all, not for the beast. Because y'all the ones that messed up. The white man, he doing what he's supposed to do. You understand? He the only one following God. He following as a created one. He doing what he's supposed to do. You understand? Y'all the ones not doing what y'all supposed to do. He the one that he had to take charge of the goddamn world because you niggas refused to, because you gave it up. You understand? You gave it up. Don't get mad at the white man because he ain't taking care of you, because he don't let you in. That's really what y'all mad about. But y'all under the judgment and whatnot, y'all suffering because y'all gave it up. The human beings, the beast and all of them, they doing what they supposed to do. That's why I say I'm not mad at the white man. I don't hate the white man. I don't hate the Asians and all that. They doing what they supposed to do. They supposed to do what they doing. They supposed to be doing the things they doing on the planet because y'all refuse to do them. You understand? So y'all niggas was moved out the way. You understand? You didn't want to be responsible anymore. You didn't want the planet no more. You came down as the governors of the planet. You gave him your place. You opened the seat up for him because, as I said, order has to be kept always. So these people were moved in to keep order. Because then if the order is not kept on the planet, then Armin's evolution is off. You understand? Because our people wasn't fit to keep everything. You understand that? The black man wasn't fit to sit and rule, or the black woman wasn't fit to sit and rule. Because you gave it up to the beast. You mixed your seed with him. You ran with them. You started believing their beliefs. You started following their religions and their customs and doing what they was doing. So you came off your throne and you fell into their timeline, which you wasn't supposed to do. So then what happened? Amen had to put them over us because they had to keep order on the planet. That's the only reason the beast is in charge. Somebody had to keep order. God works in an order, people. Everything is created in order. Without order, everything is in chaos. And if you let the black man be in charge right now, hell, it'll be chaos. Is the black man going to erect a police force? Is the black man going to correct another DEA to stop these niggas from selling drugs and killing up the community? Is the black man going to erect a state trooper to stop these niggas that's high like Rodney King, black ass, when he was high on ecstasy, driving 120 miles down the street? Could have killed somebody? No, but black people got mad when he got his ass whipped, though, right? They got mad. He needed that ass whipping. Good. Because he could have killed my mother or your sister or your daughter. Then you going to stand up for him being black then? You understand? He got what he deserved. You understand that? Now a lot of niggas, oh, brother, why you going to say that? They was harsh. They shouldn't have did him like that. Good. I would have hit his ass too a few times. Because he could have killed one of y'all. You think he would have been on some black brother shit and had he killed your mother or hit one of y'all? You understand that? See, these things happen to our people because we out of order with our own evolution. We out of the order of the evolution with God. We're supposed to be evolving with God. That's why these things happen to us. That's why we in bondage now, because we out of order. We out of our evolutionary order with the true and living God, Amen. We not being those Amen beings. We still trying to be, we want in with the human race. You understand? That's why these things are happening to our people. And why they will continue to happen. Because you niggas still begging for civil rights. You still begging for sovereignty. You still begging for treaties to be signed. You still begging, talking about money's the answer. Politics, all this bullshit is the answer. And you got these black nigga hustlers up here in the conscious community, in the civil rights community, and these niggas that done sold out in the black revolutionary community that keep pushing this nonsense to you because these niggas, all they want to do is get a paycheck. That's why they're going to keep pushing that to you. They're not going to tell you the truth. There's no truth in the black race. Only ignorance, only lies, and a bunch of cutthroats who trying to get paid. You understand that? There's only going to be truth within the bright race. That's where the truth is going to be shining. You understand? Just as raw and uncut as this is. Because God's people are telling the truth. You understand? We answer to a higher authority. We don't answer to the authority of the priests and the theologians and the people who gave you this BS about some God on a cloud and some lies that he's not a man. You understand that? It took people like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Dr. Malachi Z. York, and myself in this day and time to stand God up as a man, as a thinking man, to seek to show what we are supposed to be becoming. That we are constantly supposed to be in a state of evolution. It don't stop with nobody's beliefs. It don't stop with your principles or your ideologies that you got from the beast. These niggas, they'll act like Christianity just fell out of the sky. That we didn't go through bondage to get that brand on us. That we didn't have to go through a bondage to get that mental illness put on us, or Islam or Judaism. See, because that's how you see God. Through that. Oh, brother, why you gotta be so harsh? Why can't people just have their beliefs? Y'all niggas are the reason why we suffering. You people in religion, y'all do more damage than the gangs. You do more damage than them. See, because at least they'll be a menace in their own little sectors, but y'all are menace internationally. You people in religion. You are a menace to the mind. You are a menace to the connection of the true and living God that's trying to get to our people, to raise them. You a menace to that. So much so that the true and living God saw into the future, Amen, that he would only be able to raise 144,000 people at the new beginning in the start. You understand? Worldwide. And that's not even in America. That's worldwide. Because that's how many people are mentally dead. You understand? That's how many people are mentally dead. That's how that thing goes. And from those people, a new generation is going to come, a bright nation, out of the black race who is already dead. Your black race is the walking zombies. They the dawn of the living dead. Your black race. That's why when they did that zombie thing where the guy was biting the woman's face off and they showed that, they tried to push that story up. Notice how it only happened with black people. And I said before, niggas going on getting hysterical about it. When I said, oh look, them niggas ain't did nothing but smoke some drugs, some bad drugs, some weed, or had some ecstasy or some angel dust cut into their weed. Somebody put some angel dust in the weed and these niggas losing their mind. Now I know you don't hear about it no more, right? They probably took that strand of the angel dust weed off the damn market. Then whoever the nigga was that was selling it, it'll go right back in D.C. when that guy in the 80s, I forgot who his name was. They shot him on American Gangster. He was selling that weed was cut with I think it was cut with angel dust or something like some kind of other drug. And these people was peeling their clothes off and running down the street butt naked. In D.C. they was doing that. Yeah. That's how out of the mind the so-called black race is. You gonna smoke something that's gonna make you tear your damn clothes off and run down the street. I'm gonna take another call because we got 11 minutes left on this thing. We're on our final call. 248, you on the air. 248.
Okay,
all right.
I just came in, just getting off work, man, but I'm tuning in to you. It's my second time listening to you, man. Keep up the good work, man. It's excellent information. But
right.
Coming into this knowledge, man, waking up to my consciousness, I woke up, man, got my vibrational, energetic vibe, man, back in like 2007. And kind of now I came to kind of a brick wall because there's so many confusing, there's so many different organizations. What can you give a young brother like me? How could you guide me down the right path to really tap into that true essence and that true higher power? What I really need to be doing right now.
Come amongst your people. Come amongst the state of Mentel. Because, like I said, I don't give anybody any advice as an individual. I don't give individual advice. This is a collective thing. This is a group thing. Like we are the Nation of Islam of our time, or the Wahhabi. We are the next movement that's coming up. I say come into the state of Mentel. We are setting up the first Armamentarium here in New York City, and we're going to set up all over the place for the bright race. That's the advice I give my people. Come amongst your own.
Okay, family. Good luck. Thanks for that.
What state are you in?
I'm out here in Detroit, man. I'm trying my hardest, man. There's so many walking, the living dead out here, man. It's so many different organizations that people applying themselves to, and I'm trying to tell them to come into the oneness and the wholeness. It's all our information, but we gotta gel it together, man, and get powerful.
No, we ain't gotta gel. We ain't got. Let me stop you there. We ain't gotta gel nothing together. This knowledge is future intelligence. We not gelling nothing together with them people from the past. They are mentally dead. They still talking about the past. They still talking about Egypt, Africa, Islam, and all this other nonsense. We not dealing with that. We not coming together on no complexion thing. This is an intelligence thing. So that separates us right there. Now, as far as this is, like I said, we going through an evolution right here. The people who want to go through this evolution as that bright race, this is what's opening. This door is being opened to us on this higher level mentally. So, like I said, it shouldn't be no confusion if you consider yourself of the bright race, of that intelligent race, because this knowledge is not going to gel with that.
Okay. See, I keep trying to humble myself to that because I'm, like you say, dealing with that complexion, but you got to deal with the intelligence. That's what I had the argument with one of my brothers about, You want to call me, say I'm a foolish Negro and all that, but I'm dealing with, straight intellect, intelligence, man, because I came in 2007, but I already had this, in me since I was 8 years old, that burn of fire, passion of the science. But a lot of people, out here, mentally dead.
Well,
like I said, a lot of people dealing with their organizations and things like that. But I say you got to get beyond that. That's what I'm trying to deal with, brothers and sisters out here.
Yeah, well, like I said, seek out the bright ones of our people and whatnot. Go to the SOM.info. I don't know if you've been there. Like I said, I want people to come here, all of our sympathizers to come out to at least one Supermen, Superwomen project. I would like all the people out here, and I'm saying this right now as I'm talking to you, all the people out there who like what we doing in the state of Mentel, who consider yourself of the bright race, I want you all to come to New York for the Supermen, Superwomen project on November 14th. That's my birthday. I want everybody to come, and I'm saying that give you a lot of time. I don't give a damn where y'all coming from, Detroit, California, wherever, London, I don't care. Give you enough time to buy a ticket and come to New York City and sit with me for my birthday and whatnot, because that's going to be our official Mentors Day. I want everybody to come there. And I want you to listen. And for the people who want to be a part of this, who's saying, well, what can we do, to get this thing up? Because, like I said, because I know it's a lot of BS people out there who want me to tell them things as individuals. I don't deal with individuality. I only deal with the collective, because that's where the power is at. Come out on November 14th to the Supermen, Superwomen project. Take you a nice trip to New York. If you've never been here before, and come see me, and we can chop it up.
For sure, fam. We'll do, man. I like that, fam. Thanks.
All right, I'm inviting you. That's you can sit with me. You sit with the brothers and sisters here in New York. Come amongst the state of Mentel, amongst the mentalists. The flag will be up. Our people, we opening up membership. We want to see who's who. We want to see who's really with it. Like I said, November 14th. All right.
All right, fam. Peace.
All right. We come to the end of our broadcast. Let me answer these questions real quick. I only got a few minutes. Does God evolve and change? Yes, God does all the time. Amen. The true and living God is Amen. Omni being always, meaning omni, continuous. You know what I mean? Omnipotent, omnipotent, omnipresent, always in a state of evolution. God becomes more intelligent and continues to become more intelligent. How does God change and evolve? By way of the universe, constantly moving into the universe. The God race is constantly moving into the balanced universe by way of intelligence. So that is a mental evolution that is going on amongst the God race, the Amen beings. These are people. These are people, not spooks, spirits, or ghosts. These are real people, advanced people. What is space? What space and time does God grow in and evolve? And the universe. No time. God doesn't evolve. The Amen beings don't evolve by time. They evolve by space, by boundless space. They move by pathmatic space. You understand? They move by linear pathmatics. You understand? Which is constant evolution, without a time frame. Constant motion by way of the mind. That's the movement. Does God ever stop evolving and growing? No, He does not, and neither are we. We are in a continuous evolution because we are behind them. So we are supposed to be moving behind them in a procession, in a mental procession. Does God get smarter? Of course he does. He went from making mistakes, creating the human race, to perfecting things. God messed up. I mean, he had to get smarter. That's why it was an experiment. The human beings and mankind, that was experiments they messed up on. That's why you got all these genetic defects out here. That was mistakes that they let go on the planet. What is the difference between God's evolution and man's evolution? Yours is slower. You understand? Our people's is slower. Well, ours is supposed to be faster than the human evolution, the almond evolution, but ours is slower. They're going to always be ahead of us, but that's the evolution. They lead in the path. And we're supposed to be leading the path ahead of the humans. Is God Amen or Amen? The past is the same as the Amen of the future. No, he is not. He's evolved in his way of thinking. So, no, we are not worshiping any Egyptian god for the inquisitive and the ignorant. We are not worshiping any Egyptian gods. All right? Because Amen is not an Egyptian god. Amen came from the future into that present state, which is now considered the past, to teach those people to move them into what was considered the future, if you understand what I just said. Who is the Amen of the future? That's the big question. What the answer is who is representing Amen for the future, the state of Mentel. We are the Amens of the future and in this present. And our children, Amen is a bloodline of race, and that is a seat. You understand? So, who is raising up? Who is raising up? Who is he raising up? The elect, the 144,000. That is spoken about in the book of Revelation, the ones who will receive his true name in their minds. When they say your forehead, they're talking about the mind or the third eye, all right? Which represents his intelligence. All right? So we're going to close out. Join us Wednesday, State of Mental Radio. We're going to have a good topic as always. All right? Still Dope Star. Good night.